LATAM in motion. Markets, money, and local minds.
Hey all, pleasure to see you here. So basically today we're going to dive into LATAM market. I'm Olga Resiga, Chief Business Development Officer at SOFTSWISS. And today we're going to discuss a bit a connection between strategy with local insights, look at what truly drives the LATAM market, how collaboration with finance and regulators can raise the bar on players' protection, and why Brazil is setting the pace. The 2026 iGaming Trends reports highlights tighter regulation, responsible gaming by design, payment resilience, and the AI becoming operational rather than experimental. And I definitely like to start with the introduction of my wonderful colleagues. And I will definitely start with Lucimara Batista. She's Honorary Consul of Brazil in Malta. Also, I think we need to have some applause, guys. Also, Ricardo Rosada, co-CEO and board member of BunchBet. Matt Sahakian, his gaming consultant. And Roberto Regianini, Executive Vice President, UX Group. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your applause. And I would like to start with a small warm-up, like quick question, one-word answer, if you don't mind. So, key LATAM country in the next 12 months?
I can be humble, but I'm gonna
Please.
think it's gonna be Brazil.
Brazil.
Yes.
What do you think, Ricardo?
What's going to happen in the next 12 years or 12 months?
I said years?
It's nice to see Brazil regulated. It's been tricky, a little bit expensive for someone, for other ones that they're being really well. So I think we're going to talk about this, but so far, I'm really happy what's happening right now due to regulation.
So it's Brazil. Okay, let's switch the question a bit. Or? Go on.
Well, I can say. So I will still keep with Brazil, and I would say Mexico as well.
Agree, absolutely. What do you think, Matt?
You know, for the sake of giving a diverse type of answer, I would go for Chile. I strongly believe that Chile has amazing 12 months ahead towards the preparation of the regulation of the market. And I think that is one of the most developed countries of South America in terms of internet and connectivity. It's a tremendous opportunity for online operators still for the coming 12 months, I believe.
Agree. So we have a headliners, and what will be the underdog? What is the most underrated LATAM market for you guys?
I think it's Peru.
Peru.
Because Peru, they are the powerhouse there. I think they are not in the headline, but they are building a lot. So they are maturating their own market. I think Peru for us is a great example how we can seek and move forward. So in my case, it's Peru.
That's a tricky one.
Yep.
I'm so deep inside Brazil, seeing everything there, focus 100%. I've been actually taking a look on the other ones. I see a lot of possibilities on each and every country if the operator that's going to be there understand the culture basis of that country. So anyone that do understand the base of that country, if they start an operation, is going to be a success. And you know, LATAM people, most of we do consume in a very different way, very fast. It's frenzies, frequencies different. So it's kind of hard to me to say which will be, but I think it's more due to the people that going to acquire a brand on these restrictions and start to operate there.
Thank you.
I would say Paraguay. Paraguay is one of the most unrated market in LATAM. Also looking at on the markets that already has some regulation. I would say Paraguay as unrated. For a long period of time, they already have some regulation for online. A massive operator has been operating this market for a long time. And I would like to say that like Paraguay probably in general is one of the most unrated markets with a huge potential in LATAM.
So Matt,
I would like to add on what has been said about, I strongly believe that the most underrated country in South America specifically would be Ecuador. No one talks about Ecuador, and therefore I believe that it's a dollarized country. In Spanish we say dolarizado. It's same process as Chile in the process of regulation. So we are going toward the consolidation of strong operators. And I still believe that it's still time for new players to enter and to have a great opportunity, a great card to play. So I would go for Ecuador for a dollarization, pre-regulation, and strong sportsbook culture that still drives toward big opportunities, right? And the lotteries, yeah, I perfectly agree.
thank you, Matt. So last question in my warm-up. And guys, make sure that your lips touch the mic because we cannot hear you. Unfortunately, Matt, you're the best. So, anti-trend for LATAM. What's already cringe to do in LATAM?
With all of respect, the cringe, no, the trend you say, no, the cringe trend.
Yeah, cringe.
Yes.
This famous word.
Yes. Grinch, not good, yes. But with all of respect, I think when you talk about Latin itself, we talk about passion. So you cannot go for massive marketing campaigns or influencers. I think we can sell something, but we cannot turn into advocate for the brand. So I think you need to treat the Latin players as unique. Otherwise, you are not going to buy the brand.
For sure.
So massive campaigns are not going to work.
Agree. Totally agree with you.
We still have some players, not just in Brazil, all around, that still not respecting responsible gambling. So I think it's quite cringe. It's always cringe being like that. And as well, and try to talk to everyone and not focus on a specific person or audience or kind of a customer. So that combination can be terrible, totally cringe. So two things, not being responsible and talk to everyone.
I think like face Latin America as just a one country could be cringe also, but to understand the local culture. I think it's like it's very important. And secondly, I agree with you in terms of responsible gaming. It's a topic that you cannot like don't tackle anymore. I think like especially Latin with all these emerging markets, I think it's very important and it's a sensitive topic for like the whole market.
And in order to add on what my colleague said, I would say that I strongly believe that with the regulation going on in Brazil, as you said, Ricardo, I strongly agree that the market is not for amadores anymore, you know, as we say in Brazil. And I strongly believe that now specialization, targeting, segmentation, remarketing, and CRM, probably we'll talk about that later, is definitely a success strategy for the next years ahead of the market. And something that should not be done anymore is what you said, global approach, untargeted, unsegmented.
Thank you, guys. So I think we warmed up a bit. So before we dive into strategy, I would suggest to ground on the reality. So what's the most complicated now when you launch or when you operate in LATAM? What you found the most complicated stuff?
Latin is a patchwork. Even though we are talking early, we have two big languages there. Portuguese for Brazil, this is a giant,
Yes.
and Spanish for the rest. So itself is already a barrier. And also, we cannot expect that to have at that stage one standardized regulation. So we still have some friction. We still have different regulations, and you cannot just go there, play and or start to all go through and see that we could go to everything together. So I think you must respect to have to rebuild or build the bridge again. So that's the case we're looking for LATAM, to respect the difference, but also work concise as Europe is work nowadays. So it's example for us.
Thank you.
After more than 20 years in the market, I saw a lot of challenge that maybe some operators didn't get yet. So we say that for you to have a good operation, you have to have three things. You have to have marketing. So build your brand. You have to have a good customer support to help your customers. And you have to have onboard and payments and everything. I'm talking about compliance, but those three pillars is really important. On the base, a good product. Without a good product, we have no retention at all. So what's been happening in LATAM, in Brazil, and other places as well, when they start, we see the kind of an European playbook that people say, okay, I can do the same as I did in Spain, Mexico, it doesn't matter. And they think it's going to apply, and they fail. It didn't happen just with gambling companies. If you go to the bank, we do not have good world bankings working in Brazil. The Brazilians is the one that understand customers and everything. So understand the local people, have a good product ready to the market with those three pillars ahead is not a challenge. You'll be the recipe for the success.
I cannot be more than agree with you.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, it's tricky when you say LATAM. For myself, that I don't see. There's still some similarities between some countries, but each one must be tackled in different ways. I like to put Brazil as an example. We had a market until December last year that's very oriented to acquisition. So now totally towards to retention. So products, as everyone can see as of today. So the way to keep the customers happy, satisfied, and engaged is product. Good technology, good retention, knowing what you want to do in terms of branding. As Ricardo said, to have your product prepared, ready to go, that's the first thing. Usually operators or new ventures, they look LATAM as just one piece. And that's where you start to have some difficulties to try to understand, to get into it, to have some results. So I think it's a combo of factors, but mostly to understand who's gonna be your audience first. If you're talking about Argentina, it's Argentinians. But Brazil, we already spoke many times, the diversity of culture inside of Brazil. Then you go to Chile, Peru, even Mexico. So choose the product, the right product, but always be very careful to be able to communicate correctly with your audience. I think that's that one is the big challenge.
Oh, definitely, and maybe to add on what has been said and to answer your question, Olga, I really believe that what is challenging right now in Brazil, in Peru, in Colombia, in several LATAM countries is really this instability about the aim of the regulation. Because if we regulate, it's in order to grow a sector that will create job, will create opportunity, will create entertainment, because we are the ambassadors of the entertainment, you know? And I mean, president of the Council of Malta here, and I want to use this metaphor. We are the ambassadors of the entertainment. So we are a sector that should be respected, and the regulator should care about regulating correctly our industry. So to conclude, I would say that the constant instability in the regulation, the fact that the aim of the regulation sometimes feel like it should be hurting the operator and not helping the operator to grow or to protect the player, is something that generates an instability in the market, and it's extremely challenging for example, my clients, top-tier operator, top-tier game provider, top-tier technology provider that enter Brazil, enter Peru with the goal, with the objective of growing the market, creating opportunity, creating job, providing quality entertainment. And I believe that right now, if we want to go forward a growing market that is healthy, we should be more careful about creating good regulation that respect all the parties of our industry.
I agree with you. I was always thinking, even when I joined the industry in general, I saw many regulations being created. And the only thought I had is like, can you just take a look at a good, normal, at least regulation and copy paste it to make it like easy to understand, easy to apply, and actually profitable for the regulator in general. So the players stay in a regulated market. So, okay, let's move a bit forward with the retention strategy. What do you think is the real working retention strategy in LATAM?
Okay.
Ricardo, it's your.
Of course, you have to have tools, right? You have to understand the customer journey. If you do not understand how it's going, it will be impossible to communicate. You have to contextualize your message. And it sounds really simple what I'm saying, but we don't see a lot of people doing that right now. So that's basically the basis. And on the top of that, you have to create your brand, you have to play responsible. But the third pillar that is happening is going to start to happen, and you see this movement in other markets and other sectors. The brands must create a community that can talk with one another, a community that can test your product, a community that can talk direct to the brand, and they talk through the brand, for the brand, right? So we create this huge amount of people as an ambassadors. And I strongly believe, there is no better way of retain a player when the brands build a community. So all the bases, of course, but build a brand, but you must have a community under your brand. That's for sure is a recipe as well for success.
And what about CRM? Is it important?
Sorry?
What about CRM?
I think CRM is a part of the whole combo that Ricardo just...
No, I do agree that recommendation is the best way, no matter if you are in B2C or in B2B or in general. When you come to Rome and you want to go to some restaurant, you are looking for a recommendation. Same work here. So you trust a real person.
True. But you go beyond like than recommendation. It's like people that are heavy users, they actually advocate for your brand. And I'm gonna give you an example. I won't say the operator, but it was a British one. They create a kind of a group that people use to test some features and everything before they even launch to everyone. So imagine like that. I'm the fanatic for this brand. I have maybe 1,000 people that in a group, and the operator give me some features and say, okay, guys, test this. So this ownership, the ownership, they're helping build the brand. So this is, and then of course from there, the word of mouth, it's amazing. Then the word spreads, but it's a good path.
Agree.
Well, I think like we go back about the user experience, the way that you connect with something, be part of something. So retention It's all of what we discuss here, what very well described by Ricardo, but as well as connection with the technology, connection with your user experience, that you think, that you feel, that you are part of this whole ecosystem, that you're like entertaining yourself. So that's the point that I see in terms of engagement and the retention. It's very hard to manage Brazilian players. I like to say that they are very demanding. They're always asking for something. I think like we educate them initially wrongly. So that's not the way to, educate the market. Nowadays, as you can see, the market getting more mature. Also, the learning curve of the players has been also more demanding, more like needed to have more significant in terms of how they are like enjoying, how they are connected with the brand, the technology, and how he's part of that, especially in sports book. If you can see that the sense of a community, the tipsters, like the whole thing that you create, surround of you, it's very important. I see that like community, technology, and the sense that you belong for something like that you are part of that one.
Oh, definitely. And if I can build on what has been said, I would say that, first of all, it's important to know what the player wants, right? What is the trend in the market? LATAM, we always say, and we're talking about that, LATAM is a very diverse market, actually. You have Brazil on one side that is focusing on casino and slot games, and you have the whole LATAM continent on the other side, which is more focusing on sportsbook, to be honest. And so start understanding what is a trend, start understanding what is the type of product that the player is looking in your current market. If it's sportsbook, provide a bet builder for retention. If it's sportsbook, provide boosted odds. If it's on the Brazilian side, more about slot games, do community engagement. And to do community engagement, we strongly believe that with the groups, I represent, in Brazil, that, for example, tournaments is a big topic, to do retention. And we're talking about that the entire week here. So I would say that focus on the trend, focus on the long-term strategy. Now the market is regulated. This is not a short-term game. It's a long-term game. So you want to make sure you win at the end.
True. So yeah, but for retention, the ecosystem is also very important, right? So what do you think, guys? Let's talk about collaboration over restrictions. How the industry works with the finance as well and regulation again, because again, I think we'll touch upon the topic many times, especially in LATAM, where almost all the territories are regulated. So can the financial sector like banks, fintechs, e-wallet collaborate with iGaming to build smarter limits and risk management tools and alerts?
I totally agree. I think regulation as education is a way that we need to pursue. Otherwise, we are going to fail because all of the peers, they need to understand regulation is not an end, but is the way how we can contribute with such a different markets, different players in the same area that you call about LATAM. So we are seeing that banks and fintechs and iGaming industry itself, they are more open for dialogue. I think if we can collaborate, we can create a strong risk management framework that you can bring into the business itself or the customer journey, more flexibility. You can create patterns, you can do early warnings, early alerts, you can risk profile better. You can give the customer experience more than a burden, just like take hours or something to do a kind of registration. I think if you work hand in hand, you are going to see for flexibility and you're going to succeed in every single step of the journey. This is what I'm looking for.
Agree.
Payments is a big role in gambling. We say that gambling is like having a Black Friday every week, not just one per month, one per year. So imagine, isn't it? It's like crazy. So people buying a lot, the frequency is really, really fast. The customer are really demanding as well. Pix help us this a lot to, to have this withdrawal and payment is different than what happens in the past, that people used to top up some wallets and then they have a wallet share with a lot of operators. Now it's just one-on-one. So the payment is faster, the customer is really demanding. So have a provider to help you understand this environment. Of course, being compliant, that's at least, at least they have to do. But have a partner that really can help you on that. And when I'm saying about Pix, I'm talking about Brazil, but we do have some kind of a Pix happening in Chile and in other countries, in Mexico as well. It changed the game. It changed the way that you bet. It changed the way that you go bet, you withdraw. So it's really fast. So have a partner that you can rely on and build this together, being close with them. I think it's, again, it's really, really important.
No, definitely. And to build on what Ricardo said, I would add that, and now talking as a foreigner living in Brazil, as a gringo, I would say that Pix is amazing. Pix is amazing because it creates a huge scalability for our industry. It changed the game. Really, it is a game changer. And it's something that can get close to the Pix in Chile, in very connected countries with a strong online culture and digital development. But I would definitely say that Brazil is, and the Pix is a game changer. So when we talk about payment and our industry, that, as you said, is deeply related, we have to admit that Pix is the best. And after that, everything else is basically, to summarize it, is as close as the Pix as you can get, because it's an absolute reference, almost real time, costless. Now the market is regulated. So really it's a kind of a superpower. I would say that what is a iGaming Brazilian superpower, it is Pix. And without Pix, you cannot understand the market, So payment, Pix, diversity of approach. And I would say that the important also is to understand this characteristic in the market, Brazilian market in particular.
Just you guys know, if you guys doesn't know what Pix is, it's a kind of a peer-to-peer transaction that goes through the Brazilian central bank. So I have my key, Roberto have his key. I just name his key and send money to him. It's stamped. It's like takes second, not just less than a second to do. It's really, really fast. So imagine the guy top up his account really fast, withdraw really fast. So the customer being really more demanding on payments. So again, rely on a partner that understand that frequency is really, really important.
Got you guys. So basically you touched upon the question, my last question, that was about Pix and the open finance in Brazil specifically. So in details, how do you think it shapes the market? I mean, for sure we touched upon Pix, but also open finance. And what should come first? Should it come in parallel or something maybe implemented later? I mean, open finance, for example. What do you think about that, guys?
So at that stage, as you mentioned, Pix is already established in Brazil and works very well, and also provide a journey that is a challenge for the payment providers to come to the Brazilian market. Open finance can give data that can help the companies address properly and use in terms of retention. So in terms of the market that is going to be established in Brazil now with the new regulation, I think connect, understand how Pix works and use for the best, I think should be, in my humble opinion, the first step. The second one, use the open finance, not to stop or share data between players, but to risk profile, as I mentioned earlier. I think the customer needs to have a chance and opportunity to enjoy. So, because it's entertainment. So I think that those are tools that we can use in favor of the industry to give the customer and also the company's profitability and entertainment. I think this is the balance, the break-even point that we're looking for.
Yeah.
The open finance, it will be even faster because basically you can get your bank account, you have several bank accounts, you integrate your bank account on a payment system, on a provider, on a wallet, and then to do the payment will be even faster because this guy just with one click, he can send money like you buy on Amazon, right? You put your credit card there, you pay, and that's it. You never feel it. So open finance is going to be the same. You don't need to generate the key, pay, and everything. So Pix is fast. With open finance, it will be even faster. I think it's going to take a while until some people are used to connect his bank account to a gambling company. They have to trust a lot. So that's going back to the community. If you bring a community, if you have guys that really trust your brand, it's going to be much easier to connect your bank accounts, to have actually open finance working for both sides. Then it's going to be even crazier, I think, right?
Definitely, and I would like to develop what Ricardo said about open finance and payments and PIX more specifically. I really think that one of the positive aspects that the regulation in Brazil brought is actually the decrease in the cost of the PIX for the operator. I mean, if we talk about good sides, there are some bad sides of the regulation, those are definitely a good side. And the decrease of the cost of the PIX for the operator, and I say that looking at my friend Ricardo from PAG right in the eyes, I can say that, it's an amazing experience and an added value for the operator. And all the operator of the regulated market using PIX in Brazil currently, they got a benefit from this regulation on the PIX side. And I definitely think that there is a tremendous value on that side. Again, talking as a gringo consultant living in Brazil and giving this consultancy for top-tier operator groups based in Brazil looking to expand, it's something that maybe as a conclusion, I would say that it's hard to educate Brazilian groups of operators on how harder it is to operate payments outside of Brazil. Because it's hard to explain that a credit card will charge you 9%, 10%, chargebacks, cashbacks, chargebacks. And this is a completely different culture of payment. And it's definitely something that, as an international consultant, it's part of the added value of the consultancy that I give to my clients.
Thank you, guys. So we wish each and every market in LATAM to have something like Pix, definitely. So thanks for your time. It was a real pleasure to talk about one of the most, let's say, the fast-growing territories in iGaming in the world. So thank you for the insights, and let's make a photo all together. And thank you guys for listening to us.
Thank you.
A massive thank you and another round of applause to Olga and our phenomenal panel for their insights on how LATAM continues to inspire.